Morning all, here we go. It's a very chilly February morning. Spring's only just round the corner, so I thought I'd make this video to show all my beginner friends and young people what they could be doing to get their plots going. So let's have a little walk round. It is, as I say, it's spring's only round the corner, so let's have a quick look and see what's what. On my pretty bit, I've cut the edge, as you can see. Things are growing. Let's have a quick look round the side. The daffodillies are all just showing. Look at that. Oh, I'm so pleased with those. They're lovely. Yeah, let's go round the plot now. There's a few daffodillies coming up here, and bluebells are coming up here, and bluebells. There we go. And then I've got my chrysanth that I thought the frost had done that one, but it's actually surviving, look. And I've got my horse poo, of course, as usual. And then the bulbs in the tubs, they're all just beginning to show, look. So I've got crocuses there, I've got all sorts. I don't know what's in there. I haven't done anything with those now. This is their third year. So I'm going to tip them out this year and save all the bulbs, dry them all off. Then we've got our cold frame. I've got in here just a couple of lettuce. There we go. Cross that up so they don't fall on us. And as I've been taking them home one at a time, and that's my last two there, look. Okay, let's have a little walk round. Now this is what you could be doing if you've got an open site. It should all be dug by now. It's not too late, you've still got time to dig. And then the broad beans, as you can see, are coming up nicely. And some of those broad beans were put directly in the soil. Then onions are all showing. And beetroot, you can leave beetroot as long as you like, and they're still quite harvestable. There you go, look at the size of some of them. Bigger than tennis balls. Right, let's go back to my site. I've cleaned my bird box out. And there's my potatoes that I'm chitting. I've got Casablanca and Sarpo. And then I've got King Edwards and more Sarpo. And as you can see, I've got them all separated. Egg boxes are the best, but I haven't got egg boxes, so I've got them separated, and I've got and I'm letting air through as well. So there we go. That's the potatoes going. And then someone was very kindly giving me some pepper plants that I'm going to have to keep indoors, but it is worth sowing peppers indoors to get an early start. There's my there's the chrysanths that I have already clipped. Not chrysanths, geraniums. And then I've got a few pansies here, which I'll cut them up. I said on my last video I'll cut them up and plant them back in. They all grew. Right, now in the greenhouse, there's my winter potatoes. They just don't like the cold, even in the greenhouse, but they're surviving, look. So we go for it. There's a cut in there of the fig tree. Then I've got more plants in here, and I've got peas that I sowed last week, and this is in the homemade compost. And there we go, look, there's one just showing there and one just showing there. I reckon that's getting a bit of reflective warmth sunlight off of that band. But then I've got one coming up there, look, there he is. Then I got my sweet peas, which are still doing good. A snail got in and polished them off, but I've stuck some more seed in, and they're coming on all right, look. So they're just beginning to show. Then these were cuttings of those pansies, and they've taken, look at that, I'm well pleased with that. I just wish I'd have put them in a half decent basket. And then I've got some hollyhocks growing over there. Down here, more peas. Oh, and the broad beans, they're all showing now. So it's not too late. Sow some broad beans now. Put them in trays. The only reason I put them in trays is because if I put them straight in the ground, something eats them as soon as they show up, and a mouse will eat the beans. So I do them in these trays. These are the old milk cartons, and then when they're big enough, I then harden them off and then put them out. So there we go. So in the greenhouse, that's what we can be doing. Peppers, the peppers that were growing in here, I've clipped them off in the hope that they'll overwinter and come up again next year. They might do, they might not, but you've got to go for it, haven't you? Right, now let's have a look round the plot. Right. Now then, your onions should be showing. Should have gone in. They could have gone in. This is the onion sets. These here are shallots. They went in on the shortest day. Have a look at my last video, and they're doing okay, and I'm pleased with that because that's what we pickle. We pickle shallots. The peas that I did have growing, the ones that came up around the site, and I moved them and I put them into this nice cosy little place. They've all been eaten by snails. But there we go, that's life, isn't it? Right, that's my plot that I've got ready for. I'm going to put croissants in there and probably sweet peas. That was my potatoes. You remember I covered them. Your potato bed should be dug by now if you're an open site. Now then, my carrot bed is ready. Those were the onions from last year that I grew to deter the various creatures that eat carrots. And I'm pulling them now and eating them as spring onions. And then my winter potatoes, the frost knocked most of them off, but as you can see, they're coming back up. There we go. They're just beginning to show. There's one there, look, and I've put the lid on that. That's just to keep the frost off. And that one there's doing all right as well. So even though they were self-setters or volunteer potatoes that I dug up and brought them and potted them up, and the tops died back, mostly because of frost and cold, but they're recovering. Now my broad beans are doing equally as well. Now these broad beans were sown at home, and then I brought them here, hardened them off, brought them here and put them out. So, and then the lot that you've just seen, they will go in, but I won't put them up close to these. I should put a big space between them. Okay, let's move on round then. It's a few leeks, and it doesn't hurt. You could be sowing up leeks now in your greenhouse. And everything else, there we go. That's my asparagus bed. They were new last year, and I've put seaweed over the top, just to keep the weeds down. And then there's my last a sprout. So there's not much else to look at here now. Okay, so moving on. There's the toppings from my asparagus, and as you can see, it's quite straw-like, and I'm going to use those. I'm going to use that around my strawberries. Then the compost bin that I built here is full, and there's some compost in that wheelbarrow ready to be sieved, because that's what I've been doing. And there is the potatoes that I've actually put potatoes in there now. What I'm hoping for is it attract the sun, and that'll give me my first early potatoes. I'm going to put more compost in there. I'm going to top that up a bit. Then my asparagus, I've put all the cuttings from my grapevines and roses on there. Oh, and the gooseberry bush, because the fox, for some reason this time of the year, he just loves to dig in there and he poos and he wheezes and it stinks. And of course you're not going to eat your asparagus, are you, from a fox that's done that. And then I've got them everlasting leeks. They just keep coming. They are everlasting. So let's go on round then. Oh, the mint is just beginning to show. Then I've got cabbages. The cabbages are looking good. I was going to make some sauerkraut with that last week. Well, I'm going to do it this week. But I will do just that. I'm going to do that, probably take that one up to the Scouts, and we'll do it at the Scouts. Just so to educate the youngsters about bio, whatever it's called. The spray plants are doing good. I've been picking sprouts, as you can see. There's some really nice ones there. The pigeons stopped eating the tops now. Now that's mostly because I put a bit of wire over it. Then my strawberry bed, I've made a new strawberry bed. Well, I've extended the strawberry bed with some new plants. And then this compost bin, I've dug out most of it now. What's the remainder of that is going to go in that potato bath, top half of the asparagus, and I'll probably do some more sieve and make some more potting compost. Right, the spinach is just about, well, it'll start to sprout up again in the spring, but then it'll go to seed. So then, I don't think there's much else to look at apart from, the strawberry tub that I made to stop the woodlice eating the strawberries. That's looking good. I've tidied it up, I've weeded it and just generally tidied it up. Then onions, these were sets, and then we're going to put that bed is going to be the bed where the courgettes are going to go. So I've just covered that with seaweed just to keep the weeds down. And then I can't remember what these are, what's going to go in them. I think that one's going to be potatoes. Then my other onions are in and showing good, and also is the garlics. They're looking really good. That's a row of Isle of Wight garlic closest, and then the elephant garlic after that. I love that elephant garlic. You can cook the whole thing. Then there's the strawberry pot here. It traps the sun. Look, it's got flowers on it. They must have been from last year. So generally speaking, that is it. So yeah, that's it. The pond's doing all right. I keep saying to myself I must dig that out and put a pond liner in there, because it leaks at about 6 inches down. All the parsnips are nearly finished. There's a few. I'm still digging one or two, but the ones that are left now are the smaller ones that were planted up late. Let's have a quick look at the bees and see if they're happy. Well, they are happy, but they're all hidden away inside because it's too cold for them. So generally speaking, that's the plot. So things that you could be doing right now, it's not too late to sow onions. It's not some onions, that is, in trays or in seed boxes. You could do your you can still get hold of some sets. They're probably sprouting already, but you could still put your onion sets out. And you could sow some leeks and peppers. But you need to put, if you're going to sow peppers, they need to be somewhere in the warm. Anyway, I'll do a little list what you could be doing right now. Okay, so bye for now. Be happy.